Hello everyone, I'd like to welcome you to my YouTube channel. In this video, I will discuss three topics. This video is just going to be an intro about what is to come, but in the future you'll see some tips on how I have adapted to daily independent living. The few things I want to discuss, the first is the spinal cord injury types. There's two main types. One is incomplete and the other is complete. Complete is where the spinal cord was severed completely in half, meaning the top part and the bottom have no part in common anymore. So there's been a clear cut right through the middle. Incomplete is where part of the top is still connected to part of the bottom, but it's not severed completely through, so some of the signal that goes from the top to the bottom can still come. The main reason it's important to distinguish between those is because when there's a complete injury, there's never, ever, ever any chance of healing. The two pieces will never grow together. When there is an incomplete injury, as long as there's no kind of stretching that makes the damage any further, it'll still, retain whatever sensation or motor control that exists. And then there's another um, injury that kind of comes along that, which is really just like a swelling or like a bruise, where the signal is tough to get from the top part above the bruise to the bottom, but after a while it heals and full sensation or full motor control has reoccurred. But basically, complete and incomplete are the two um, types of injuries. There are three main levels of injury. There are the cervical, which is in your neck. There's the thoracic, which is right about here. I'm sorry, right about here. Sorry about that. And then there's the lumbar, which is below the thoracic level. There are 7 vertebrae in your spine and the neck level, the cervical level, 12 in the thoracic level, and 5 in the lumbar. My particular injury is in the thoracic level at T5. So to give you an example, mine is right here. There are many other illnesses or injuries that are debilitating that would cause someone to be in a wheelchair, but the point of the series that I'm making on this channel are only about accidents, things I have personal knowledge with. So let me tell you more about my accident. When I was a teen, I was in a head-on motorcycle wreck. Someone turned in front of me, and the impact threw me about 50 feet from where the accident occurred. I was airlifted initially in Cobb County, Georgia, to Cobb General Hospital. I stayed there for about a day. My injuries were too great for that hospital, so I left and went to Georgia Baptist Hospital and stayed about 2 weeks in ICU. Of that 2 weeks, I spent my 18th birthday. I spent about 4 months in Shepherd Spinal Center, and in April of that following year, I got out of Shepherd to live on my own. When you go to Shepherd, they teach you many, many, many things about how to live independently, how to do things on your own, which is really, really helpful. But there's just some things that you just have to learn over time. You have to always adapt and try and overcome these obstacles. Because believe me, there's going to be plenty of obstacles. So that's kind of what happened to me. I was in a wreck. Wasn't my fault. Somebody turned in front of me riding down the road, and it is what it is. Motorcycles are still great, but there's a lot of danger when it comes to riding around, on and public traffic. And the reason I'm doing this video series is because over time, I've had lots of people ask lots and lots of questions. How do I drive? How do I live? How do I do this? How do I do that? And don't get me wrong, questions are awesome, awesome. Please ask away. But there's something about a video that really crystallizes what a concept is better than describing it in text or looking at a picture of something. So I thought, what a good way to express how to solve something than to wear a little video recorder on some eyeglass near my eye so that whenever I see something, you see it. And I thought that would be a really good way to do this. So in the following videos after this, you'll see how do I drive, how do I live around the house, how do I go shopping, how do I mow grass, other common tasks that able-bodied people do regularly that I do just a little differently. And by all means, if you've got any other requests, hey, how would you do this? How would you do that? Please feel free to let me know. Also, if you wouldn't mind on this video series, if you would hit the subscribe button right below, it will ultimately let me create a custom URL on YouTube that'll be easier to share for people that might be looking to get some tips, whether they are brand new with an injury or have lived with one for a while and just looking for an easier way to do things. I'm really all about efficiency. I like to see what things are and make them better. And I've come up with some good techniques to try and ease the load in an already cumbersome world. So with that being said, hope you enjoy it and look forward to seeing you in the future.